AEW and All in Wembley Stadium.
Yes, we should probably begin with that. I think that's the biggest news of the week. And what a step to just announce that. Sometimes Tony Khan kind of gets banged on from people when he does these announcement things. And, the mileage may vary on what you think of them. I think I saw a post where someone wrote down every single one of them, and I found them all to be kind of pertinent announcements, to be like, hey, there's a new show coming, there's new, whatever coming. Then people just, they do the thing where, this doesn't really matter. Da, da, da. But as far as this one, they announced the biggest show in company history. They announced,
and I still heard people complaining, saying it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. They they announced the biggest show in the company's history, the debut in the UK, all in one, a stadium event in itself, international event, all this stuff here, and it's like, this is a huge step. This is awesome. And I immediately couldn't think about how these next 4 months would go with the discourse, and how like trash everything would be that surrounded this. And there's going to be so much over scrutinization of every part of this show, from literally people that are in the second match to the main event. There's going to be, all the attendance stuff, whether, they reach that 90,000 the Wembley Stadium can hold, whether
they won't. It doesn't matter.
there's like, I'm just saying, like, even if they do, people will try to say it doesn't matter. I saw people say, we don't care if it sells out, it's somewhere else, it's not in America, it doesn't matter. I've seen this, James. I'm like, what? Does their money not be green? Like, I don't get it. But whether it's 75,000, 50,000, 40,000, like, all the ticketing stuff is gonna go nuts. Then it's like, who do you have to have on the show to reach what arbitrary number do people set? It's all gonna be disgusting and nauseating, and like, I'm like, all the bad face stuff is already like started, and it's only gonna get worse the closer the show gets. I know you probably have some thoughts on this as well.
Well, I mean, my thoughts aren't too different from what you already heard me say when I was talking about that in the Largo Loop thread. As far as like, I don't know why outside of WWE running Wembley in 1992, I don't know why people think like buying these stadiums are like such a gigantic like undertaking, right?
People think they can't afford the rent, James.
Yeah, like with making $40-something million per year on a TV contract, making $2-point-something million off every single pay-per-view buy rate. That's not even including the gate when people, buy the tickets and then go there and then buy merch. Not even including that, just the pay-per-view stuff. It's like they just think they're like, oh, they can't afford it. So I'm like, how much do you think it costs to rent the stadium for a weekend? Do you think it's $10 million? It ain't.
We're also talking about someone that probably has a relationship with Wembley.
Right.
That with the Jaguars, who are on like a 3-year deal with them, I believe. So they, like, I don't even want to know what happens if they draw more, or if they sell more tickets to this than like a night of WrestleMania. I don't even want to know what these mutants,
who cares?
I don't know what these mutants are going to do to cope. We might have mass, suicide or something. Like, something's going to be bad. Like, I don't know.
So, yeah. So, what I was on thinking about it was like, all right, so Meltzer talked to a person that has promoted Joshua fights at Wembley, right?
Right.
They said that the price is for about $400,000.
Okay.
$400,000. Like, I think, like, okay, so when the price used to be, I don't know what it is now, but back in the day, like before we went to the WWE Network, like, they will go to an arena for Raw, it would cost them $200,000. Mm-hmm. And then if they want to do a pay-per-view, it would be more than that, right? Because it costs more for satellite uplink and pay-per-view, whatever. But like, either way, like, this thing is not that expensive. Like, I don't know why people think it's $10 million. It's not. And also, like, I think another thing people like have just because they're not thinking about this, like, we had a global pandemic where these places that exist to hold sports events and concerts and whatever, like, was shut down for a certain amount of time. And these quote unquote landlords, for lack of a better word, like a lot of landlords all around the world, like they ended up doing what? Going broke or jacking up prices to make up for what they lost from people not wanting to pay, or not be able to pay their rent because they couldn't go to work. So like they're hurting as well. So like a lot of places might be on the Jerry Jones thing where how like you used to see motherfuckers doing anything in the new Cowboy Stadium after they made it. Whereas like, look, you might get a damn birthday party, fuck the rodeo, a birthday party one random Friday night in Jerry World. So yeah, like it didn't surprise me. It didn't shock me that they would run a stadium show in the way that I saw some of this stuff. It's just like, what is going on? Now, as far as what makes it a success or not, really is we don't know if it's pay-per-view or if it's TV. We don't know that yet. People are still wondering what's going to happen with All Out, if that exists still or not. But either way, based off of what we think they could do with the gate, given like whenever they've done gigantic shows, there's always been a gigantic demand for it. Part where they've never been over to that side of the hemisphere.
The fact they have the biggest television in the country there. So
for wrestling, yeah.
For wrestling, and it's like, I think that demand, the fact they're bringing back the All In name for it, like the cool stuff they're gonna like seemingly have culminating there, the kind of like once you only get to run one first stadium show,
right?
Like there's the novelty of them putting All In on it. I like how they brought up the founders, like they shouted out Cody. There's a lot of companies
3 days after he lost WrestleMania main event.
Yeah, that was kind of funny, but they shouted out Cody, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and it was like, the spirit of All In. It was like, fuck the spirit, is all the way back now. Like like as far as going All In, like I think a lot of people over there are probably going to want to be a part of that. And there's like there's going to be lots of wrestlers that are wanting to get on this show. I just want to say now, I do not care about you British independent wrestling dorks that are trying to tweet your way into working on this show somehow. I'm sorry, no, like we didn't come for you. Like we're coming for the promotion that we watch.
Is there anybody in particular?
Nah, I'm just seeing people, just randos, like just trying to like, no offense to him, I like his work and stuff like that. I saw a journalist try to will like Simon Miller onto the card. I'm like, for what?
For
like,
what culture?
Yes. I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, no, that's not like, no offense to Simon Miller. Why would we want to, see that? Like, no, like,
like that's not going to help them draw not one bit.
And not get Simon. He doesn't work there or have any like connection to the company or anything. Like,
right. And he's a very nice guy. I met him after the NXT takeover in Barclays for NXT New York or Takeover New York. Like I met him. Like and I said to him like, I don't mean to offend you, but like you're taller than I expected you to be because I don't know if it's because like the UK thing, whatever else, but like I thought you were gonna be like 5'9". He's like 6 flat. But yeah, like I met all the What Culture guys during that time. But anyway, like that's not like if you're going to bring, obviously Pat is going to be on the show. That makes all sense.
I'm pretty sure Michael Oku is going to be on the show too. But I'm just talking about.
But that's where we stop.
That's
it.
Where we need to stop. Like the randos, like they're just trying to will like ring announcers and shit like that. Like no, not here for you.
There is no reason for Rhea O'Reilly or like Jetta to be on these shows. None. Like look, I've watched Pro Wrestling Eve. There's no reason for any of them to be there. None. Sorry. No disrespect. I've watched Wrestle Queendoms before. No.
Yeah, man.
Am I wrong here?
Yeah, like not at all. But I just I think some of it is like the just a lot of the bad faith has run me down. It's just like, yo, I don't even want to hear it. Like this is whatever agenda people want to get off for the card about the promotion, they will use it to run that play for it. So beware. Don't allow yourself to get trapped into wasting your time and your energy on on goofies that are doing this stuff. So
Well,
um,
I already did, but I didn't like put it on like in
yeah,
public forum. Like we talked about the thing about like people were talking about like this thing won't come close to sold out. What are you talking about? I was like, well, neither did like SummerSlam when they put like 40,000 people on one side of the building and inside of an arena that fit like over 60 to 70 to 80,000 people. Who gives a shit? Like they put it to one side, they shot it well, it looked like it was fucking jam packed, and it was and some of the matches were really good, and it helped the crowd, and the crowd helped those matches. No one said it was some disaster that SummerSlam did that. I don't know what the gate was. I bet it was in the millions.
right.
So you got that. You got all the stuff like, apparently like JYD, Bill Watts, and Mid South were just complete all disasters running those Superdome shows. Like that last second that last second Goldberg Georgia Dome Nitro was a disaster because that building's only halfway full,
Yep.
right? Like all the WrestleManias, all the standard WrestleManias have all been failures. They didn't sell them all out. Like sell out or get the fuck on.
Right.
It's like, and then people are throwing out like these fake, WWE attendance numbers. Like, nah, man.
Yeah,
like,
they're gonna be using a lot of fake numbers to try to
the
like.
Fake numbers aren't even sellouts.
Right. There's going to be a lot of fake numbers being juxtapositioned against, and I don't know if AEW does fake or real numbers. I feel like they've done real numbers up to now, unless like proven otherwise. Like I don't think that's a thing that they've really done. Kind of like
they don't ever really tout attendance.
Yeah. But I think either way, this is set to be a massive show. I think it's important not to like lose that and all this stuff. Like it's going to be like a complete step up, and this company in a lot of ways was launched on defying conventional wisdom, like, right? And so like I look at it like, why can't they do it again? So
yeah, that's true. They did kind of start with like 4 guys saying, hey, let's try to sell out a 10,000 seat building with no TV. It happened.
So it's like when people can like latch on to what they feel like is a movement, a lot of things get more powerful. And that's like in all walks of life.
Yeah.